Once again, Happy New Year. Please check my community board for said update. Firefighters have been fighting fires in the Mandeville Canyon area. Take the post. Make your voice count. This live stream is going to be pertaining to the scamming of LA. Insurance payouts. While doing my research for this content of the fires, I learned that State Farm was a main insurer of Californians, and they had stopped about a year or so renewing insurance policies, not taking on insurance policies, because basically they're going in their homes, apartments, condos, who do not have insurance. They do not have insurance. So as I had said before in my past lives pertaining to these wildfires, the only people that are going to come out ahead are the people who have insurance, number one, the people who are wealthy and have insurance, and also money in the bank, and those with money in the bank. Second part of this live stream, the scamming of LA County. During this live stream, we're going to chop up the many scams that will come about pertaining to these wildfires. I'm going to show you a video of a donation center, and I want you to think about what I'm about to say because I posted it to my community page. Imagine the people traveling to these donation centers, the Rose Bowl, different organizations, veterinary clinics, wherever, churches, and they are not in the designated areas of the fire. Stay woke now. Imagine driving 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours just to get free food, clothes, dog food, bingo card. Imagine that. Imagine filing a false claim saying you stayed with someone. That happened here in East Tennessee a few years back when Gatlinburg caught on fire, had wildfires. People pretended they lived in certain areas up in the mountains and they did not live there, and they got several $1,000s payout until eventually the government, Uncle Sam, found out that they were lying and prosecuted them. I suspect that is what is going to happen here. So that will be the focus of this live stream. We know this is a dire situation, but what I want to discuss is the scamming, because it's on its way. A law official have already alerted people to be aware of people calling, trying to, get money from you, donate, ask you personal questions, information, which those are things you're supposed to be aware of anyway when answering your telephone and or your cell phone. But imagine the numerous scams that are going to come about. You're going to have people pretending that they were displaced, asking for housing, food, money, gift cards, staying in shelters, acting like they're homeless. Stay woke. Because if you don't have a database set up at these donation places, you don't even know who you're talking to. You don't even know who you're talking to. So you need to think about those type of things right now. The scamming of LA County. Will the insurance companies pay these people their money? Those who have insurance with said insurance companies. Once again, I won't doubt that there are people who are going to these areas to get free items. Going to these areas to get free items, and they are not in the affected areas, because naturally they're probably not taking anybody's name down, checking a list, because there are probably thousands of people, hundreds of people running into these different places, and naturally they're going to announce these places on the news. So everybody in the general LA County area are going to get wind of these donation centers. Stay woke. Welcome to the Vault XL. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $sign the gadget 129 Cash App, stickers and chats are welcome during this live stream. We're going to talk about the scamming because it's on its way and it's probably happening as I speak.
Tuesday, we've been reporting on the wildfires that have devastated a number of local communities. So much loss, so much sadness in our coverage.
Okay,
but tonight, we have discovered something quite wonderful taking place in Pasadena. We just wanted to share it with you. It's a pop-up help center. Local residents there coming together to help other neighbors who've lost so much. Eyewitness News reporter Kevin Ozebek from our sister station in Houston found the pop-up and help center. He's joining us live at the Rose Bowl with the story. Kevin?
Hi there, Mark. So, Mark, we were just kind of driving around out of the corner of our eye. We see all of this activity, this big crowd, and we said, we better check that out. And we are sure glad we did. Just take a look around. This is a pop-up donation site, and it is growing fast, and it is growing rapidly. You can see all these people here getting what they need. You can find everything here from paper towels to dry soup to paper and plastic plates. Anything you need if you just lost your home. And we've seen dozens and dozens of fire victims come here tonight. And the only reason they are getting all this help and all this support is because all the donations that are pouring in. The food being handed out is hot, and all these essential items are free for those who need them.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it means a lot to be able to see the community giving back to each other and working together.
Jackie's envelope is here to pick up the bare basics like toilet paper and a toothbrush. Her home burned down in the Eden fire and is one of dozens here on what you could call a pop-up donation drive.
We started with just 2 hot dog carts yesterday. We planned just to come get 500 hot dogs.
Word spread on TikTok that food truck vendors were coming together to feed those impacted by the fires.
Now, how are these people going to replenish the food? Because naturally food costs. It's a noble thing to hand out anything free. But these men also, this is their, their business. So how are they going to recoup the monies from giving out free food, number one. Number two, look at all the people walking about. This is just at the Rose Bowl. That's yesterday. That's not included today. I will try to show you pictures during this live stream of people out and about today going to these said places. So imagine people who were not affected by the fire. I want you all to think about that. I'm going to put up a poll, and you can feel free to mosey on over to my community page and just give a guesstimate of how many people you think out there that was out there yesterday, today, were not affected by the fire. So I bet you nobody's thinking about that. Queen is always woke because I know people. We're all flawed. And whenever you say free, you already know you're opening up Pandora's box to bullshit, okay? Bullshit. Scams. You know it's on the way. And I bet you, LA is full of people. LA County is full of people. We're talking about 10 million, at least 9, 10 million people. And I'm sure half of those people have cars. Say, whoa. You say free, I got something free to give you. They're not thinking, oh, you mean the person that burnt their house burnt down, the condo burned down, the business burned down. Oh, I just heard free. Say, whoa. Just imagine 10% of those people out there do not even live in Eaton, Palisades, Brentwood, Mandeville Canyon Road. Weigh it out.
And that to you to see all these people coming and getting the help that they need right now.
It feels unreal that all these people are together helping one another. It feels so special.
And all this sprung up in parking lot I outside the Rose Bowl Stadium.
We found out that they were using this parking lot as shelter or refuge, if you will, and we wanted to do something for them, and here we are. It has turned into this with the power of social media, my friends.
And for those most in need, they could not be more grateful. Some here now hardly have more than the clothes on their backs.
Our house did burn down in Altadena, so, we don't really have anything. Just trying to get anything we can.
Oh, I can't imagine how tough that is, but to see this pop up to help people like you, what does that mean to you?
No, it means the world to me. I mean, this is my community, and I'm so grateful to have them.
SoCal this week has seen the worst that Mother Nature can bring, and now the best of humanity's giving nature.
Okay, I'm gonna put it up
to make sure that every family that was impacted gets the right help that they need.
Give me 1 minute, sweetie.
And And that right there is SoCal strong. Now you can see all the piles of clothes that have already been donated, but organizers say if you have a warm coat you could donate, they would love for you to come and drop that off because they are seeing some fire victims who could use some warmer clothes. After all, it is pretty chilly out here tonight. I also want to draw your attention to this other parking lot that is just across the street, also there outside of the Rose Bowl Stadium. That is where dozens and dozens of fire crews, some local, some from pretty far away, are kind of stationed. That's their home base. Well, right now, Mark, that parking lot is pretty quiet because we know a lot of those firefighters are out there working these multiple fires. So we have neighbors helping neighbors and also some support from very far away across the street. So SoCal sure does have some support in this very tough time of need. Reporting live in Pasadena, Kevin Osbeck, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Kevin, is there one person in charge of this, or is this kind of one of these organic sort of things where everybody's kind of stepping up?
I would say very, very organic. We talked to multiple organizers here, and like they said, a lot of them run some food trucks. They went here because they knew some people who were evacuated were just coming here for help because they couldn't stay at home. And it just grew. They started making TikTok videos of this, and it went from 2 food trucks or 2 hot dog stands, it was described to me, but there's just 500 hot dogs to all this. And Mark, I'm not kidding. We could just walk around here. You name the item, you are going to find it here. Boxes of Pop-Tarts, boxes of ramen noodle. They had hot coffee here earlier today. Pre-cooked food. They were giving away full pizzas. And Mark, just before you tossed to me, there was a huge truck here just dropping off more and more donated items. Particularly in that truck, we saw just boxes and boxes, crates and crates of bottled water, something that a lot of these fire victims could especially use. So to answer your question, I would say this is very, very organic.
Indeed. Now, just for people who may be just tuning in right now, who either want to donate or who might want to come in and get something that they need, tell us exactly where you are.
So this is parking lot I outside of Rose Bowl Stadium. So just look for parking lot I. And I'll tell you, Mark, once you kind of drive here, you cannot miss it. There's not much going on besides this pop-up donation site. It's all lit up. There are still lit food trucks here. So it's very, very easy to spot. You can come, you can drop off your donation, or if you are a fire victim or here say in need of any reason, you can come and pick up what you need.
Oh, is it any reason? Okay.
For some warmer clothes.
Any reason?
Chilly.
Wow.
But some of the fire victims who we talked to, a couple who they left, they were evacuated from Pasadena. They just thought this was just kind of a warning, and a few hours later they'd be able to go back to their home. Well, their home has been completely.
Well, they said if you need anything, didn't matter.
Nothing, so
wow.
they came here to get the absolute essentials.
Maybe not. But we still can talk about the scams. There's still going to be scams.
I mean, they literally have just the clothes.
There's still going to be people that's going to be lying and making up stuff
right now to send people
down the road.
Desperate needs under these desperate times.
Kevin Osbeck.
What seems weird, Lolo?
Live report. Parking lot I next to the Rose Bowl. Maybe some more of these pop-ups.
I'm going to intervene there, and then I'll go into the live feed coming out from the canyon, Mandeville Canyon, and I'll just be talking over the content because I'm going to engage with the chat and read your comments and just engage with you all for a little while pertaining to the schemes and scams that are going to transpire. Please take the poll on my community page. So far, I don't have any votes, but here it is. I meant to say many, I put any. Anyway, free food items that were not affected by the wildfires at donation centers. These are your options: 10%, 20%, 30%, 50% or more. Take the polls. Welcome to the Vault XL. They did say anybody that's in need, so I'll go ahead and clarify that. Anybody. They said anybody can come get whatever they want. But as I said, that's still a recipe for disaster when you say anybody can come. So a person can drive 2 hours, 3 hours to come get anything that they need. And I'm all for free things. Trust me. If there's something I need and someone was offering it was free, hell yeah, I'll take it. Yeah. But I ain't getting ready to go do this right here. I ain't about to do that because I already know that's a knockoff on my own blessing. So I wouldn't be going over there getting stuff. Even somebody said, oh, it don't matter, it's free. No, let the people that need it get that stuff because we don't even know how many more people are going to be in need of those items with these fires still brewing. So you have to think about that. Somebody really needing this stuff. So if I go in there and get the stuff and my house didn't catch on fire, I'm taking away from somebody, you know what I'm saying, that really could be using that shirt or box of cornflakes or whatever. So, you know, you have to be, you know, selfless sometimes. You have to say, you know, this one time I'll pass. I'll, you know, let the people who have been in a fire get those items.
Will pop up in other parts of Southern California that have been affected by these wildfires. Thank you for that report. Definitely uplifting. And anybody who's lived in Southern California for any length of time will tell you they wouldn't be surprised. Hello, I'm Mark Brown. Get more great ABC7 content by clicking the subscribe.
All right, we're going to go over to KTLA, see what they're talking about. Well, Charlie, with your smart mouth, I'm sure there's some Republicans out there getting free food and free clothes, and I'm sure some of the people who have smoke, they're Republicans. You need to think about what you're saying. You're talking ignorant people talk. California is a red state, I'm sure. So that means there are a lot of Republicans in California, and there are probably some Republicans who got their damn houses burnt down. And I don't think a Republican that's got a burnt down house is going to say, nah, I think I won't drink that free cup of coffee. Nah, I don't think I'll take that free bottle of detergent, even though I need to wash some clothes because I'm wearing the same clothes 2-3 days straight. Stop the bullshit. Don't come here with that nonsense. Take that ignorant rhetoric, Democrat rhetoric somewhere else. I don't want to hear that shit. These people got their houses burned out. They're walking around in the same clothes 2-3 days straight. So if you want to come in here with that Democrat, Republican talk, this ain't the chat for you because I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. When your ass is broke, your ass had a fire, your ass and got your house burnt up or flood, if that's the only thing you're thinking on Democrat, I'm a Republican, or I ain't going to help this person because I think it's more Democrats that got flooded or it's more Republicans that got their houses burned, you know, come on. They may have money in the bank to go get clothes, shoes. The point is, this ain't the time for all that. Talk about it January 20th and the potential for scams, schemes, grifters, all of that. Takes all kinds. That's what's so sick about the world. People just freeload off of any topic to throw politics in there. First of all, everybody is not the same. So when you judge, you know, I can't judge all white people the same. I can't judge all Democrats the same. I can't judge all Republicans the same. Frankly, I don't even want to talk about this bullshit because that's not my topic. My topic is about the fires. But see, that's what's wrong with the world. Anytime something goes wrong, people love to blame a certain political party. I keep seeing that in all the articles. A man shoots another man. Oh, it's the Democrats' fault. Nobody cares. A thief don't care who's in the White House. A thief don't care who's the president. The thief don't care about a governor, the mayor, the senator. Check yourself. So crime is going to stay here, whether we have a title for any political office. That's the bottom damn line. Because there was crime the moment somebody ate off a fucking tree. Some of you need to get it together. Because it's people like you is the reason why the world is jacked up and the way a lot of Americans are so wayward in their ideology and their thought process. Because you judge everything by a damn title. You need to grow up. Just be thankful you're not out there. With your house burned down. That's what you do. We're going to KTLA News 5, everybody. I'm great. Hello. One of my California friends. Thank you, sweetheart. How are you doing? Where are you exactly, perspective in California? How far are you from Brentwood, Palisades? How far are you? Yeah, I get sick of that shit. Every time something bad happens, these damn people always got something to say about a Democrat. A person is worth more than just a title. If that's all you care about, that shows me there's something wrong with you. That you equate everything to a Democrat. Oh, the fires. A Democrat did it. Somebody took their baby and threw their baby in the river. Oh, it's a Democrat's fault. Sounds stupid. Sounds stupid as hell. People do what they want to do. Every day somebody's doing something and they ain't thinking about being a Democrat or a Republican. So when a Republican decides to write a bad check to his bank, her bank, what are you saying they're saying to themselves? Well, I'm a Republican. The bank isn't going to want me to pay this money back. You people need to get a grip. Sound Los Angeles? I mean, are you anywhere near the fire? Are you anywhere near the fires? Shit gets old. I mean, you can't even hold a conversation with anybody. I mean, you can be talking about anything. Oh, I passed a beautiful rose bush today. Something about it got to be thrown in there. It's ignorant. Fuck you all gonna do on January 20th? I tell you what, see if that head knocker can fix this problem January 20th, since you want to talk politics. Oh, I'll go there with you. For all these people who have lost their houses, I don't see him standing out there passing out tacos and hamburgers. Yeah, some Mexicans out there donating hot dogs to the public. Folks need to get your mind right. Scams, they're on the way. Please do not answer your phone from unknown numbers, because there will be people trying to scam, especially with these wildfires, calling your number to say they're from the Red Cross. Can you please donate? Don't respond. And also, turn in that number. Turn the number in to your local fraud toll number. The wind is supposed to pick up tonight into tomorrow. As you see, it's not looking good, and no rain in sight. As I was saying earlier, pertaining to the donation centers, pop-up centers out in the parking lot of the Rose Bowl, just imagine all the people who have decided to take it upon themselves, to go get free stuff, but they don't need it. Because like I said, I'm sure in the beginning, when the word got out about the free items, nobody heard, oh, it's for everybody. Because that really wouldn't make any sense to say everybody. Oh, anybody can come get free stuff. I just feel like that's a recipe for disaster, even though we know nobody's going to be checking. You don't have any way to check to see if a person lost their house or not. But I'm just saying, just speaking honestly, I don't think I would invite that type of nonsense. Like I said, you're going to be people that's going to come and you don't know if their house burnt up or not. But the point is, that's still people's money buying paper towels, clothes, T-shirts, deodorant, whatever they're offering. And this isn't the time to be throwing away money. just giving away stuff just to be giving it away, because there are going to be some other people that's going to need that stuff if they decide stupidly to stay behind, and then boom, their house catch on fire, apartment catch on fire. Now they're out. They ain't got no clothes. They don't got no deodorant, no toothpaste. They don't have any food. And I tell you what, as I said before, everybody that lives in California is not rich. So just imagine people who get destitute from their house, condo, they don't have any savings. What a mess. What a mess. Hello, everybody in the chat. Welcome to the Vault Excel. Welcome all newcomers, subscribers. This is the weather. They ain't looking too hot. San Fernando Valley. I don't see rain anywhere. Windy, windy, windy. So now it's gone into Wednesday. Damn. What a mess. Inland Empire, wherever that is, they're going into Thursday. Oh, Lord have mercy. Oh, yeah, it's going to be rough. Perspective, do you know anybody that's lost their home? Do you know anyone that's lost their home? It's just bad. For those who have not heard, people in California, no, it's not snowing. Stop. I guess it's probably stopped last night sometime. The parking lot's clear. It's clear outside. A little snow's out, but it's clear. I mean, roads driving, I'm assuming. Prayers for you, Ms. Lopez. There are many people in California who have been denied insurance, could not get their policies renewed, and then some stopped their policies on their own. That's information I brought to you 2 days ago. So a lot of you don't know that, that's watching this content pertaining to the wildfires. State Farm is one of the main insurers of insurance in the state of California. And they will probably be bankrupt or go bankrupt with all this that's going on. So I'm going to try to bring you a little bit of information pertaining to State Farm. This is a all-around live pertaining to scams and insurance payouts, non-payouts. Will some of these people get payouts for their home? Naturally, they will not get the full value of their houses from what I was told. I don't know. I don't know anything about that. I just heard some guy talking about it yesterday. All I know is it's a hot damn mess. Let's see. We're going to see about who they're not insuring in California. I have Google searched so much the past 2 days talking about these damn wildfires. My head is spinning. State Farm sent a shockwave through California. I'm here to deal with what has been proven. This woman said we didn't take it serious. Now she's standing out on a street corner with her kid. Stay woke. This is what I've been talking about earlier. This nonchalant attitude that people have pertaining to disasters. You all have got to stop this. I don't know what kind of world we're living in, but it's messed up. As I said just a few minutes ago, all this bickering, arguing about Democrat, Republican, people don't care about the fires coming. People don't care when the flood is coming. People don't care when it's raining. People don't care that the water's covering their car. Then you decide, oh, I think I want now. Damn, get it together. Because there's a lot of people out here that are not going to feel sorry for some of these people. You left your house, but now you want to go back to your house. After they told you it's dangerous to be sucking in this atmosphere. There's nothing in your neighborhood, perhaps, but you want to go back. You don't have no water. You don't have no damn electric. But you want to go back. This same woman says they should get a shuttle, because I watched this content earlier. She says, oh, they should get a shuttle and do something. We're just walking around, blah, blah, blah. So you mean to tell me you don't have money for a hotel? Just asking. Because as I said, there are going to be people, yes, that don't have extra money for hotel stay, however long this situation is going to last. But you want the city to get a shuttle to take you up the mountain to find your house, look at your house, and then what? And then what? I'm just asking. Take you up, get a shuttle, get a school bus, take you all up the mountain to see your house in the canyon, and then do what? You want the bus driver to sit up there and wait while you do what? Run in your house, try to get some more things, clothes, shoes, just asking. Now, the shuttle takes you up there and there's no house, then what? You have no water, no electric, then what? You want to come back down on the bus? I'm just asking. You want me to get cynical? I surely can. Make it make sense. A lot of neighborhoods are ruined. They are ruined. You want your house, you want to be in a house with nothing around you. No water, no electricity. Just to say, my house is still standing. I want you all to think about that. The idiocy of this. I want to go back to my house with no water, no electric, to prove to myself the house is still standing. Make it make sense. Lord have mercy. I didn't take it serious. When they told us to evacuate, I got out. We got out. And now she's learned her house is burned down. This lady that you just saw. She has nothing but the clothes on her back, her and her family. But see, had you packed up your car or van or truck beforehand, you could at least had a couple of days of clothes, got your devices, couple of bags of snacks, whatever. Just saying. But at her own mouth, I didn't take it serious. How many said that and now don't have a house? How many people have died in their houses because they didn't take it serious, because they said, oh, the fire's 3 miles out, 4 miles out. But somehow in your mind, you think fire just going to say, well, I'm just going to stay over here because I like it better over here. I ain't about that cottage, that house, that condo, 3-4 miles. The fire doesn't work like that. The fire does not have a brain. Okay? Think of it as the little lion in The Wizard of Oz. Doesn't have a brain. Well, who didn't have the brain? No, that's a scarecrow. Excuse me. Who didn't have the heart? Was it the lion? Gone. Get lost. Don't pay me no mind. But you understand what I'm saying. This isn't The Wizard of Oz. This isn't a cartoon. You got to think. Check out my live from earlier today, 3 hours plus. I give you some very good advice in that live, I think, on what to do to prepare yourself no matter where you are. Get you a carry-on bag to put all your documents in. Separate everything from things you need at the moment to things you don't need. Deeds, wills, insurance policies, all that needs to be together. Passport, social security number, birth certificates. Put all that together. Well, Christine, I'm glad you took all your things. That's why I said, if you have the opportunity to take all your things, you need to take them. That's why I said you keep all those things in one carry-on bag. Now, some people want to lock some of that stuff up in safes. Everybody don't have safes. But anyway, safe or no safe, best keep it in a carry-on bag that's you can grab at a moment's notice in case of an emergency. Boom, grab the bag, run out the door, get on. That way you can verify who you are, verify you have insurance on your house, verify medical insurance, verify car insurance, verify you, your kids, whomever you're taking care of. Worst thing, you're out here and you just got what? Your ID and your phone. No. You need to have those things put up. As I told the chat in the last live, I have a patent leather carry-on case. It's like a makeup case, zips. And in there is everything pertaining to my personal business. So in case there's an emergency and I have to run out, I go past the living room, get in the living room, reach in that closet, pull that thing out, that case, and run out the damn door. I don't have to go look for nothing because I don't advise you leaving stuff all over your house, dresser drawers, you know, all of those type of nonsense. Don't do that. Don't have stuff scattered around. Don't have a birth certificate over here and a social security card under the mattress. You put it all together in a Ziploc bag or big envelope. Go buy those envelopes. You can get them from the Dollar Tree, couple for $1 a quarter. Put all birth certificates, IDs in one envelope. Insurance policies, car insurance policies in another envelope. Mark it. Boom. When you need it, you just go to it, get it out. I see this all the time with Americans. As soon as they need to verify who they are, the first thing they say is, I can't find my birth certificate. I am the same person that I was when I was a young girl, because I learned from the best. My grandmother was very strategic when it came to business. So I'm assuming I take her ways. Document, 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 take notes. Everything together. Do not have stuff separated. And if you are disorganized, this advice is definitely for you, whoever you are. Do not wait until you become a victim of this to be running around your house with your house in flames looking for a birth certificate, driver's license, passport. All that stuff should be put together. Get your file folder, Ziploc bag, don't matter. It ain't gotta look pretty, just so it's together. So put it up, put it up. Put it in a bag that zips. Time comes, flood, heavy rains, tornado, hurricane, you grab that damn bag and you hold on to it for dear life. So you can verify who you are. Take all your cars. You have 2 cars. Remove both from your driveway, your garage. Don't leave no cars behind. As you heard this nonsense, cars backed up because what? You waited to the last minute to leave. So now your car is sitting in the road. Fire trucks couldn't get in the streets because all the cars were in the road because the people had to leave the damn cars. See, don't wait until the last minute. That's another piece of advice. Don't assume the water won't come your way, the fire won't come your way. That's why we're talking about the wildfires. That's why we're talking about death, 11 dead. Because somebody would not take the warning seriously. They thought, oh, I live far away. I'm 4 or 5 miles out. Well, the fire said, I will be stopping by your house tonight. I will be knocking on your door today. 5 miles out, 3 miles out. You are not special. I am fire. Hear me roar. I don't need a destination. Look at my friend, Mr. Embers. He go wherever I go. He go where he wants to go. Say, welcome, everybody. Stop acting like the fire is human. It's not. Water. He ain't human either. It go where it wants to go.
Street, we should note that
Get homeowners out of the FAIR Plan, California Insurance Commissioner Ricardo Lara's office said. The average cost of insurance on the FAIR Banks of America is for you to get your money, and naturally, banks have money for their insurance on their monies. So that's one of the banks that burned, that's been on the news in the Pacific Palisades. If you didn't see this picture, I showed the video the other day. Now imagine all the money burned up, money burned in the ATM. And the people who possibly had money in their damn savings box, security boxes. Lord have mercy. Will you all be able to get that money recouped? Do you have a receipt to show you put, let's say, 20, 30,000 in the box? Naturally, when you go in those boxes, nobody knows what you put in there. You're just paying for the box. But they're not supposed to know, I don't think, what you're putting in the box, because you can put a gun in there, jewelry, whatever. Oh, Lord. Is there anything left in these security boxes that can be salvaged? Has to look at the security boxes, the vaults. When will they go in the banks to see, can anything be retrieved? Woo, you talk about a hot butter mess. This is a hot butter mess. This is a hot butter mess. Well, everybody, that's the latest. Scams. Those who have encountered cyber scams, 19% said they have lost money to the scam, according to the report. These are the common scams. Social engineering. It's the practice of someone using manipulation or deceptive practices to get access to a person, organization, sensitive digital information like passwords, private details. Scammers may look for opportunities to slide into the mix of ongoing news coverage and urgent updates with fake donation pages. But beyond stealing donation money from people trying to help, scammers may try to take advantage of victims seeking assistance. Those affected by disaster should be wary of people purporting to be able to help, Steinhauer said. Scammers might harvest bank account information or sensitive information and then turn around and steal their identity. Cyber criminals could claim to be government agencies or charities hoping to gain trust and opportunity to steal money or data. So whether people want to give or receive assistance, they should confirm they're reaching out to the right groups and legitimate authorities. Inbound attempts such as phishing, emails, spam phone calls, texts, also ways attackers try to steer people toward malicious websites. The use of artificial intelligence can also make some scams harder to spot. With AI, attackers are using generative language models to come up with better pretexts for phishing. They aren't as poorly written or have the misspellings or bad grammar that they used to. Now, some red flags to look for are misspelled URLs, odd domain names, and if they receive a security warning when navigating to a site. Phishing attempts are most often inbound, but people should be cautious with contact information they see on social media. Occasionally, you'll see phone numbers or email addresses advertised on social media in paid ads. Not every paid ad is legitimate. The Better Business Bureau advises people to be wary of vague programs that don't explain what someone's support will assist, and the organization recommends checking a charity on give.org to make sure it's trustworthy. GoFundMe has aggregated a list of verified fundraisers, and the company said it has a team of monitoring and continuing to update the page with fundraisers as they are verified. Okay, for more ways to assist those impacted by the wildfires, USA Today has a list of services, charities, and organizations, and additional information. There you have it.
Road to lock that side in. Now, as we move south, as we move down the map, you always see Riviera and down to Pacific Palisades. That footprint hasn't moved in a couple of days, but there's still a lot of work in there with the structures damaged. So we still have people in there working all around those structures. The ones that are standing, they're going around those structures, making sure that there's no adverse fire effects on those structures and any additional damage, and then doing what they can in the community around that. And then you have the Pacific Palisades, and coming back down to the Topanga on the bottom side, or on the PCH, we still have resources going really deep interior, doing the same thing, maintaining that present, looking for the heat sources, and working around the structures. One thing that we've done is we use UASs, right? Unmanned air sources. They're drones, and the drones are pretty cool because they have the ability to have an IR, which they look for heat signatures. We don't only just use them around the perimeter of the fire, we're also using them around the structures. So they're getting over those structures and are finding those heat sources. And what that allows us is we can put people directly where we find that heat, and we can really dig in deep, get the water on there, get the hand tools in there, and limit the possibility of any kind of growth or any additional damage.
All right, good evening. My name is Landon Hack. Work for CAL FIRE, and I'm also Operations Section Chief on the incident, working in conjunction with Chief Litz. We are both joined at the hip, literally walking around the day operations, driving around the day operations and running this incident together, unified. Coming further to as we move to the left-hand side of the map here, coming along the Pacific Coast Highway, along Topanga Beach, Las Flores, right up there along the highway, there was a lot of structural damage in there, large buildings, and that stuff takes a really long time to get the heat out of. A lot of the mop-up work that's being done in there, they have to get really deep in there and pull heavy material back and stuff like that. And as you guys are all well aware of, along that coastal highway, there's a lot of roads up into the canyons and drainages up into where the homes were up in there. So the crews are all working up in those areas too, getting up very far in there and trying to make sure that everything is taken care of, the structures are secured, they're getting mopped up around, getting the water, and taking care of anything that's next to those structures. So one thing that they do when they're in there is the structures that are remaining, they go around and they clean anything up around and put water down and pull vegetation back and work on that so that there's less availability for fuels to get into those structures and continue to damage things. As we come over towards Malibu Canyon, you guys will see a black line that goes up there. That's where the Palisades fire ran into the burn scar from the Franklin fire about 4 or 5 weeks ago. So that black line is in there because that is what we consider controlled, that piece, in that there's no real ability for that fire to move beyond that point. In this case, that's because everything to it is to the left of the map there is already burned. Coming up Malibu Canyon up into Montanito, really good work has been done up in there. The fire was backing down through there a couple days ago. It produced a pretty good smoke column as a drainage burned out in there. That drainage had line constructed on it ahead of time that went in behind all the structures and was in place. There was hose lays down there, and that line was staffed with firefighters as that burned up, and they held it there, protecting the homes and structures in there. Coming across that top, moving to the right from Montanito, along Payuma and Saddle Creek road systems. The fire is hung up in the road systems up in there, and the engine companies, the crews, bulldozers, depending on the terrain, we select which resources are going to be most effective in there. But they've gone in there and they're kind of tying all the rock outcroppings to the road systems, getting the vegetation moved back or moved from fire's edge, and constructing that line across the top. And that's going very well. That portion up in there has not moved or grown in a couple of days, but there's still stump holes and stuff like that there's heat up there that they got to put water on and get it taken care of. And then as we come into Fernwood, down kind of right below Fernwood there, and where Topanga Canyon comes up. So we had some structure defense going on in there a couple of days ago that was pretty intense. They did a really good job on that Topanga Canyon side, south of Fernwood there. That was held in check, stayed out of the structures, and is now being hose lays and hand line and direct line is being put in play there. As that brings you back up to where Chief Litt started in Topanga Oaks. Thank you very much.
Good evening, Rich Thompson, incident meteorologist, Palisades incident. I'd like to, first of all, take a minute to discuss how we kind of got here weather-wise to the way this fire behaved. First of all, to note is the area has not received any measurable rainfall since April of last year. So basically, for the last 9 months, this area has been dry, no rain of any kind. So the vegetation out there at the time the fire ignited was very, very dry, very critically dry for this time of year. That was then the day of the event, the area was under extremely strong Santa Ana wind event. In fact, probably one of the strongest Santa Ana wind events we've seen in the last several years. So because of that, we had wind gusts, very, very strong wind gusts, and along with those winds, a very dry atmosphere. So the combination of that dry brush, those very strong Santa Ana winds, and the dry atmosphere were the perfect ingredients for this fire to spread very quickly and become the damaging incident that it was. So those are the atmospheric conditions that led up to the fire. Now, forecast-wise, we're looking for, beginning tonight and continuing through the middle of next week, is another round of Santa Ana winds. We're looking for strong Santa Ana winds to occur across this area through Wednesday, with probably the strongest winds on Tuesday. So you're going to have really strong gusty winds, very dry atmosphere, and still very dry brush. So it's got to still have some very critical fire weather conditions out there for the firefighters to deal with. So therefore, we do have a red flag warning that's in effect from right now until 6 p.m. Wednesday evening, to kind of let everyone know that we have those widespread critical fire weather conditions. I would like to stress, though, this upcoming extended round of Santa Ana winds is not going to be anywhere near as strong as we saw when this event broke out. It's going to be as strong as Santa Ana, but maybe be about like 60–70% of the strength of this event that led up to this fire. So, but again, we're looking for another round of critical Santa Ana winds and critical fire weather conditions over the next several days.
Critical winds. No end in sight.
I'm Joe Everett. I'm the Assistant Chief for the Operations West Bureau.
You've been listening to the officials talking about the latest on the Palisades fire. The first community meeting of its kind since the fire broke out. No doubt a packed room, and this is what people need to hear. They need some assurances that things are not getting out of hand and that the fire department is getting a grip on what's happening. And on the right of your screen, you can see a couple of the flare-ups that are live there in the Palisades area, but for the most part, Corrine, the firefighters have been doing a great job. There's just a couple of really hot spots that they're worried about.
And we learned a little bit about the strategy, right, going into the evening hours, the aerial attacks that are currently underway. One official admitting that right now, and again, this could change, the winds are in their favor in some areas, but again, admitted that could change depending on the shift in the wind intensity. This is a targeted attack, they emphasize. They have personnel who are actually looking for heat sources to directly station crews there and to get the water on there just to limit the spread of the fires. I thought that was key. Some of the work going on behind the scenes that we're not seeing.
Yeah, they said they're using these special drones that have the infrared cameras on them, and they're flying over some of the areas that the fire's already passed through, but they're not sure if there's still hot spots there that may ignite later on. And the drones are showing those, and they get a crew in there and put them out. It's
absolutely incredible.
Great way to do it.
Yeah, we want to check it now with our Gil Lavis, who's in the sky above, keeping an eye, monitoring the conditions at this hour. Gil, what can you tell us?
Corrine and Rick, we're looking at the Mandible Canyon area here. This is the most active flames of the night so far. As I come out to a little bit wider shot, you'll see that, in fact, I'll bring in our map so you can see where Mandible Canyon Road is. As I come out to a wider shot, there's Mandible Canyon Road there at the bottom of your screen. As I come out wide and pan to the left, it's going to be looking towards the south end of it, and I'll brighten the picture here a little bit so you can see. But as I said in that update in the press conference there, that Mandible Canyon is looking a whole lot better, and I can certainly tell you it really is. There, helicopters are really making a push down here tonight, and that's really going to make a difference tonight as the winds are in the firefighters' favor. You can see some of the hot spots here on the west side of the canyon, and that's where right now the helicopters are focusing their attention down further south, down Mandible Canyon Road. As I come out wide, we'll see the western flank of the fire, which is there at the top of the screen, and that's off of Temescal Fire Road. But that really has laid down pretty well tonight at this point, for sure. As I zoom in, you can see the fire line and the extent of that fire over there. That's where the tankers were hitting it really hard earlier today, and the fire crews making their efforts on the ground. So at this point, that's the look of the fire right now, the two points of interest there. You'll see flare-ups through the night. That's because the fire is getting into some unburned brush, and then it calms down after it burns for a little bit. But I'll bring in our overview of the topography of the area. That's all that burned there in this fire. And at this point, you can see the shoreline there. And as I come back to the normal picture, that's the look of the entire burn scar for this Palisades fire as fire crews work on both flanks of this fire tonight to try to knock it down. That's the latest overhead up in Sky 5. I'll send it back to you in the studio.
Yeah, Gil, before you go, throughout the day, we were used to seeing so many helicopters and planes up there. Is it still crowded in the sky, or have we lost even some of the helicopters?
You know, I haven't seen as many helicopters active tonight. I know the exact number of helicopters. We saw as many as 10 last night. But
it's very scary down in there.
Seems to be slowed down a little bit. I'm not sure. I've seen
Let me say this. I'm not going to hold you all. As I said, this live stream is going to be shorter than the one I had done hours ago. But when you look at the photographs, I said nighttime gives a better visual than daytime. Naturally, during the day, you can see the structures that have been burned. But nighttime gives you also a different view of what the area looks like that's burning. Okay? That's the whole point of night and day. You get a different visual of how things look during the day and during the night. The nighttime to me is scary. The state of California, because they've got to get this insurance business on a good foot to where they have insurance companies that will also insure people's homes. And that's the worst, not to live in a fire-prone place to have a fire. Anybody's house can catch on fire. Okay? You could have a basement, hot water tank flood. Not necessarily your whole house flooded from a disaster. How far are the insurance companies going to take this? And once again, there are people who probably are living in California and other places in the United States as well that have a house, own a house, but do not have insurance on the house.
Throughout the whole evening on
Santa
the right
Anita.
of the screen, you're looking at Sky 5 over the Palisades, and Kyle, I'm guessing that's from the downtown camera on the left.
Yeah, on the left. That is from actually close to our studio here in Hollywood.
Is this worth dying for?
Lines there in the Santa Monica Mountains.
She tried to fight a fighter.
Still some hot spots.
A fire, excuse me. She tried to fight a fire. They're recommending you don't do that. She's upset. No firemen, no fire hall. This is what people don't seem to understand. They can't be everywhere. We get it. You're angry. You're upset, but you're not really thinking logically. You have to count how many fire halls are in your district. So I think everybody might need to do a little Googling. You might want to find that out. How many fire halls are in the district? That canyon that's burning, the pictures I've shown you through all these live streams, they only have two companies, two fire companies. You're talking about rough terrain going up there. Now imagine 5, 6, 7 fires simultaneously. You ain't running but one hose from here, one hose to there. Stay woke. How many fire hydrants on each street? Stay woke. Okay? That's just up in the canyons. Now, you're on a regular street, and it's house for house, business for business catching on fire, and yet you're saying, well, I don't know why I didn't see a fire truck. I wonder why I didn't see a fireman. Do you know how many fire companies are in your area? Common sense will tell you they can't be at 50, 60 fires. That's why they have to call in help from other jurisdictions to help. Okay? People have to come from other places, which they have now. Aircrafts had to come from Canada. Aircrafts had to come in and get the planes to put the retardant down over the designated areas, which we've seen that over the Mandeville Canyon. That's the point. You got to have the resources. You got to have the manpower. It's more to it than just say, where's the firemen? Where are the firemen? They're battling fire after fire after fire. You can't honestly think a fire company is going to be able to go into every fire. That's unheard of. Really logical. Because we have seen some of the homes, they were engulfed. So they're battling that one fire, depending on how many men on the fire, don't know. But you know, I'm just speaking from a logical standpoint. Oh, we definitely got to work this fire because we don't want this big boy to spread, especially around palm trees, bushes, other houses. So conversation tell you the bigger the fire, you want to definitely try to knock that one fire down. As I showed you, one house, the mansion that was went up in smoke, Mandeville Canyon. That bad boy, he was up in the middle of nowhere. That thing, that house is gone. But that was daytime. Gone. House gone. It's just absolutely sad. The firemen cannot be everywhere. That's the bottom line. She spoke of low water pressure. Well, that's expected because people were doing what you were doing, ma'am. They were trying to put out the fire with their own water hose. So you count how many people in your jurisdiction fighting a fire, plus firemen fighting a fire with their industrial water hose. Yeah, the water is going to be low. There's not going to be any pressure because the reserve is getting overused.
Crews racing still to get a handle on multiple blazes. We want to take a look now at the fire crews and how they've responded this week. The biggest and the most threatening fire right now, that's the Palisades fire, of course, pushing northwest into Manville Canyon, the San Fernando Valley almost. The Eaton fire in Altadena, then there was the Archer fire, the Hearst, the Kenneth, the Sunset, and the Lydia fires as well.
And here's an update on the numbers for those fires.
Ones.
The Palisades
Eaton,
fire
Palisades.
more than 23,000 acres and is now 11% contained. 5,000 structures have been lost.
5,000. That's a lot.
And businesses. The Eaton fire has burned more than 14,000 acres. The fire is 15% contained. And some good news there. Authorities have just lifted all evacuation orders for La Cañada Flint Ridge.
Lord have
Only the
mercy.
Starlight Crest, Crown, and JPL zones remain under warning. So again, some good news tonight. Authorities believe 4,000 to 5,000 structures have either been damaged or destroyed in these fires. The Kenneth fire in the San Fernando Valley has burned at least 1,000 acres. That's 90% contained. And the Hearst fire that broke out on
16
Tuesday
fire-related deaths. The number's gone up
and is 76%
5 more people.
contained. According to the medical examiner, at least 16 people have died in fire-related deaths. The Sheriff's Department says 13 people are reported missing.
And remember, a curfew order is now in effect tonight for the mandatory evacuation areas of the Palisades and the Eaton fires. That started a little over an hour ago at 6 o'clock tonight. It's going to run through 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. And anyone who gets caught in the affected areas without authorization is going to be arrested. They will face jail time as well as a possible $1,000 fine. And also today, Governor Newsom welcomed Mexican firefighters at LAX. They are here now to help in the fight against these wildfires. And a newly formed Los Angeles Regional Wildfire Investigative Task Force was also created earlier today. That task force will include local, state, and federal agencies to investigate the causes of these fires and to see if there's a connection between them. The cause of each of these fires still is under investigation tonight.
All right, we're going to send things up again to our Gil Levis in Sky 5. We're looking at those hot spots, Gil. We heard from officials earlier saying that the conditions are cooperating, but they could change by the minute. What are you seeing from the air?
That's right, Karina and Rick. You never know. It could switch at any time or change at any time. But this is the hottest spot near Mandeville Canyon. It's, in fact, I'll come in with our map system here and zoom out and show you the block number. It's the 3500 block. You see the target at the bottom left-hand side of your screen there. That's around the 3500 block of Mandeville Canyon. So to give you an idea where this hot spot is.
Earlier fires.
It is the most active spot in the Palisades fire right now, and it's a whole lot different than down here on the road. As I zoom in, you see them staging on the road there, and it just continues. I see a light from one of the helicopters shining down there, but as we continue down the canyon, you see all those red lights. Those are fire trucks staged in those homes, and the fire has really laid down very nicely, but there are still a lot of hot spots on that western wall of the canyon as we continue down. They're looking at this spot down here a little bit further down the canyon as one of the hot spots that the helicopters are targeting tonight. It's right in this area here. You can see the fires kind of flared up a little bit in that area. And whenever the fire crews in the air see that happening, they'll come over and they'll put the water on it and it'll douse it, cool it down, and really help in the firefighting activities. That helicopter is going to make a right-hand turn and come back into this area in about 30 seconds and lay down his water right on that line. But as you see the extent of the canyon there, I can bring in our overlap system and you can see how it is burning on that western wall of Mandeville Canyon there. And the full burn scars that come out wider, you see all that terrain that is burned from Sunset all the way up here to the Mulholland Drive area. In fact, as I pan over here, I'll come back to a live shot. You're going to see the Encino Reservoir in the screen there on the right-hand side. Last night, we were seeing the 10 helicopters drawing water out of there. And as I come back to a normal picture, I'm going to zoom in there. We're not seeing as many helicopters going in there and dipping tonight, but there are several helicopters up operating right now. That's the Encino area there, and the fire did get a little close there tonight or earlier today, and at night here it's starting to lay down. Here comes that helicopter has already dropped its water. Here goes another one out to that same area. So a lot of activity, but the fire really is looking good at this point. That's the latest overhead up in Sky 5. I'll send it back to you in the studio.
Yeah, Gil, I think your pictures are a relief to a
Very
lot
scary.
of people out there tonight. We thank you.
And of course, there's a curfew that went into effect at 6 p.m. Jen had mentioned earlier that folks there are adhering to that, so that's great news. Also on the ground tonight in Brentwood are Chris Wolf. You spoke earlier to people who were trying to return to survey the damage to their homes, see what's left, and collect any personal belongings that they could, Wolfie.
Yeah, they certainly were earlier, Corrine, but they're gone now. The streets are quiet. The streets are cleared. That long, long line of Palisades residents turned evacuees, people waiting to get back up into their neighborhoods to check on their properties, has vanished. This area, as you said, is now under a curfew, 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. daily, as long as it takes for the foreseeable future. We now only see members of the media and the National Guard and law enforcement. Several agencies are here, LAPD, Santa Monica Police, we've seen, and airport police are patrolling the neighborhoods and enforcing that curfew, ready to arrest anyone for trespassing or any other crimes, including looting, which has been a major concern during this disaster. This area where we are, this fire zone, the evacuation zone, as you mentioned, is under a curfew from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. This is a roadblock and checkpoint here in Brentwood, south of Mandeville Canyon on the edge of Pacific Palisades. We're at San Vicente westbound and 26th Street. The Brentwood Country Mart is right across the street. This is where we've been talking with Palisades residents, these fire victims, all day, waiting to get back into their neighborhoods to check on their properties. Some knew their homes were destroyed, others knew their homes were still standing, and yet others had no idea what to expect. But all were extremely emotional. There was a long line of cars along San Vicente all day. The people we spoke with were pretty frustrated at what they considered a lack of structure, a lack of communication and efficiency with this whole process of getting people back up into the neighborhoods with law enforcement escorts. Just about 15 minutes before the 6 p.m. curfew started, in an effort to get as many people back up into their neighborhoods so they could check on their properties, police started waving in car after car after car. Dozens of vehicles rolled through the checkpoint very quickly.
Well, she said she has insurance.
Live with members of the National Guard keeping watch. People will likely start lining
Thank the National Guard for coming through.
Morning at dawn.
Amen.
For now, reporting live in Brentwood, Chris Wolf, ATLA 5 News.
Well, I'm not going to hold you all. That's the latest. They're still fighting the Pacific Palisades and Eaton. Those are the worst ones at the moment. 6 p.m. curfew. They are mandating the curfew. 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. You cannot be pilfering around, loitering. You cannot break the barrier, but they said some guy got through. Don't know what happened to him. But they will arrest you. So that's the latest. If you loot, they're going to arrest you. If you break the protocol and go back in the neighborhood, they're going to arrest you. Yeah, go in the neighborhood. Don't leave. Mandated evacuation. If you don't leave, they're going to arrest you. You loot, they're going to arrest you. You pilfer about, they're going to arrest you. They've got strict guidelines right now, as they should, to keep our people from looting, trying to break in your homes. That's the worst thing you could have right now with all that's going on with the people who have perished, buildings that's burned down, homes burned down, have a bunch of people just running around, breaking into people's houses. You don't want that because disasters usually bring, as I just said, problems, more problems, theft, scamming. And that was a discussion for this live stream. Beware of scams, text messages, calls, spam calls, phishing, anyone trying to ask you personal information, anyone trying to get you to donate to any organization. You know where to call if you want to donate. You can call the Red Cross. You can call the Red Cross in LA. So you don't need anyone calling you, asking you to donate, asking you personal questions. Don't respond. That's the best thing. I recommend you don't do it anyway. Answer numbers from unknown states. You may say Pennsylvania. You don't know anybody in Pennsylvania, don't answer. Because I always say if it's important, they'll leave a voicemail. So you don't have to answer the phone, okay? They had donations set up at the Rose Bowl. And the reason why I made this live stream is because it just dawned on me when I started seeing all these people and clothes and shoes, because at first they were saying they didn't want you bringing all that stuff. Don't bring couches, different things like that. Okay, that's understandable because the people don't have anywhere to stay. But then when I started looking at the videos and I started looking at all this stuff, sitting outside, people coming through with their food trucks, serving food, hot dogs, this and that, I don't know, it just hit me. I said, how many of those people are really in the affected areas of the wildfires? How many people who have been going to these donation centers, churches, the Rose Bowl, are actually in harm's way? Actually lost a house from this? Take the poll on my community page, because I'm going to bring you that poll here in a minute. How many people do you think went to these places to get free stuff, food, toiletries, whatever they gave away free? They took it, but they did not lose a house. Did not evacuate from an affected area. How many people you just showed up, got free stuff, potential scammers to be, because just like they said, oh, show us your ID and we'll let you in the neighborhood. Showing my ID doesn't prove I live in any of the houses. You can live in a house and have a address on your driver license from another address, because everybody don't change their driver license. I mean, I don't know what the protocol is for California. If it's mandated, you have to, go get your license changed when you move. Naturally, some states, I'm sure they want you to do that. But is it a protocol in the state of California? that when you move, you also have to get a new driver's license. Don't know. But you get what I'm saying. Just showing an ID and then just go drive down the street, round and around the blocks. You don't know what somebody is doing. They're in a car, in a truck. They show their ID, stupid enough to show their ID, then go in, could break in somebody's house, God forbid. Somebody ain't got the alarm system on, don't have an alarm system. And then if the power's off, ding, 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 it's going to be dismantled anyway. Checkmate. Because how are you going to get the cameras to work with no electricity, no power? Say, whoa. So anybody can just show the ID and just go pull up in there in a big old SUV, excursion or something. God forbid, start rambling with door handles, break out some glass, go in somebody's house, just ransack their house and come out, load up their car, truck. Because that's the whole point. Where there's a will, there's a way. And as I said, there are going to be phone scams. There are going to be people, calling outbound to your home phone. They're going to be trying to, hope you hit messages on the internet, URLs and Facebook ads, different things. Hey, call this number if you want to donate. That's why you have to be careful hitting anything on the internet on your computer. Private messages, Messenger. You have to be careful hitting anything now on a phone or a computer because you can be opening Pandora's box, as I've done that. Got a virus in my phone about 2 weeks or so ago, hitting an ad that said, it was an article in a news break, said Steve Harvey had died, and I stupidly hit it. My mind said, don't open this. Next thing I know, phone started acting strange. So see, you got to be careful. And so now, as I said, this is the season for the scams because there's a disaster. And as they said, for the people who are in the disaster, who have lost their homes, they need to be careful getting involved or reaching out to people by phone, internet, and they don't know who the hell they're talking to. You need to call the FEMA with the seal, make sure it's the real FEMA number, because anybody could try to put up a fake, ad in the Google search with a phone number, and you're not even talking to a FEMA representative. So you need to make sure you're talking to a real representative from FEMA, the real FEMA. Naturally, you should have your own insurance company's direct phone number and the agent's name to take care of your, insurance business for your cars and your home. And just be careful. Be careful posting too. And another way you don't want to get yourself wrapped up in a scheme scam, stay off the internet. Don't be going live, trying to TikTok and Facebook live. Well, we lost our house and now people know because you got your damn name up there on Facebook, IG. I get it. This is what we do when we're upset. We go live. We got to tell everybody our problems, what we're doing, what we're going through. But you have to understand there's always somebody watching and looking and lurking in the shadows, waiting to pounce. So you're assuming that all the people that's watching your Facebook account, IG account, they're your friends. No, they're not. They're not your friends, okay? They're not your friends. And that's what you all need to understand about going live, telling your personal business, what you're going through. And that's just in general. Where you work, all those type of things, you need to be very careful. Now, another thing that I hadn't discussed, people who have to work. Naturally, people have to have jobs to work. What is the status of these people going back to work? How long will these jobs let them stay off from work? Think about the people who work from home, worked on the internet, worked for companies from home. Naturally, they have to have access to a computer. So I'm assuming they took their computers with them, grabbed them if they were able to. And now you have to work from somewhere, somebody's house, friend's house, hotel. And that would have to be awfully stressful, What do you mean you take it is still going on? Yeah, there's still fires in California. See, people out getting free stuff. Once again, how many of these people actually are in affected area? Getting the free food, free items.
Try to lend a helping hand. We've been hearing from entrepreneurs saying, what can we do to help? It's been a beautiful scene.
very uplifting, Kareem. We're here at Santa Anita Park, and they've been here since last
They said
night.
watch Ray Ray. What in the world?
Started
Oh, Lord.
on TikTok by the Clover King Agency. That's Clover King, Clover with a K. And really, it's a bunch of street vendors who've come together and they wanted to do something bigger than themselves. And it's become not just a movement here in California, but a national movement. And all the attention was created on TikTok. And here we are today. And just take a look at this. I mean, you have an assembly line of sorts of just goods being handed out here all throughout this parking lot. You have drop-off zones. You have vendors in here preparing food. There are grills over on the other side of this parking lot from where I'm standing right now, making breakfast burritos, making hot dogs, just handing out hot plates. We talked to some victims of the fire who have been able to benefit from these donations here today. Just tremendously grateful. Those who have lost homes in the fire, but also we spoke to one young lady. She didn't want to speak on camera, but she has been out of work as a result of this. Obviously, in the sports world, so many things have shut down, and she works over at SoFi Stadium as a cook there. She's been off work since Monday and hasn't been able to go back, doesn't know when she's going to be able to go back. And so you hear some of those stories as well. I talked to a gentleman who got off at work at 6 a.m. this morning and came here to volunteer because he saw what was happening and just wanted to be a part of it. So you have so many people just trying to pour in to this community, just trying to pour into their fellow man or their fellow woman. And that's just what Angelinos do, coming together here for a good cause. We're at Santa Anita Park in Arcadia. I'm Rashawn Haylock, KTLA 5 News.
And that's what's in the damn bank. Disaster, no disaster. So people got to get that out of their head about people that live in California, because that's all you're hearing lately. Oh, they're rich, they're rich, they're rich. Everybody's rich. Everybody's not rich. Yes, it's a rich state, but everybody in the state is not rich. They just so happen to pay a mortgage, pay rent, but they are not living high off the hog. They go to McDonald's and they order off the $1, $3 menu if they can, $1, $2 menu at Taco Bell. Stop playing. I mean, come on. You all got to act like you got some sense. That's where they chose to live. You want to live in Florida, New York, the most expensive places in the Union? That is your choice. Hawaii, your choice, but you also have to pay the piper for living in those places, because there is a repercussion for those cities. Wildfires, flood, hurricanes, bad weather, flooding. Now, this time last year, or February or whatever, it was flooding. A lot of rain was in California. Now, a year later, it's dry, dry, dry. Dry, dry, dry. See how it switched? Nothing but rain last year, 24. Now it's dry. No water in sight, no rain. But, as they say, as the song says, it doesn't rain in sunny California. Obviously. Look at this man up here, using up water resources. See, this is what we're talking about. Watering his roof. They told him, don't do that. Just said it today during a live stream. Please do not water your roof. What is that water going to do in its dry outside? It's going to dry up. Bingo card. It's already dry outside. It's warm outside. And this man is watering, using up water. Look at this fool. Encino, Park Lane Drive near Mulholland Drive. He's watering his roof, using up water that eventually is going to be needed. Oh, wow. They're telling you to get out. Get out. Number one, do not use up water to water your house down if there isn't smoke or fire. And if you see smoke or fire at your house, do not pull out your water hose and try to put out a fire, because I believe black man dead, amputee dead, child dead, son had cerebral palsy, they are dead, trying to put out a fire at a house. Dick Van Dyke got tangled up in a water hose the other day trying to hose down his house. 82-year-old black man died in his house because he wouldn't get up and leave with his family. And they left him behind in Altadena. So if you want to foolishly play these mind games, you knock yourself out. But when the fire comes, his little water hose will be no match, because guess what? He's got trees, foliage around his house. He won't be able to do nothing when these trees catch on fire. Trees, bushes. That house is going to go up in smoke. And I get it. He wants to save his house. And a lot of people wanted to save their houses, but they could not. But you have to use common sense. You can see he has a beautiful spread there. Fancy car parked outside, probably ready to go. Don't leave it in the driveway. Pull it on out. But if he had any sense, he would leave. If he's even with few miles within smoke or fire. Because that's what all these other people thought as well. They said, oh, I'm 3 miles out. I'm 5 miles out. It ain't no big deal. I'm good. And now they're telling stories to the news that their houses are gone. And naturally, he has money. He's living in his nice house. He has a fancy car. Most of us are going to assume with this type of person, he's got money that he can go hold up in a hotel, go rent a room for a couple of weeks. You'll probably get a good rate and just pack up your bags. So see, the smart thing to do while he's watering that house down, he should be packing his bags, getting all his valuables out, Gucci watches, Gucci slippers. You see where I'm going. Nike tennis shoes, all your valuables from your safe, all your passports, and get the hell out of there. Because what you don't want to do is be standing outside with a water hose trying to put a fire out. Stupidity. Here is the last poll. 19 votes. How many people getting free food items that were not affected by the wildfires at donation centers? 10%, you all said 11% of you all voted 10%. 11% of you said 20% of people. 32% of you said 30% of people. And 47% of you voted 50% or more are getting free things and they were not affected by the wildfires. Wow, wow, wow. One person commented, Skylar said people love free stuff. So many scams are finna come. Laugh out loud, all kind of scamming, scheming. Yes, that is what's on the way. One thing I want to say, everybody does not have house insurance, Mr. Rashad. You can't say that. You don't know who has house insurance or not. If he cared about the house insurance, he wouldn't be out there with the water hose. He don't want the trouble of having to deal with the house. That's common sense. He don't want to have to deal with the company. He don't want to have to wait for the check. He don't want to have to worry about somebody coming out to look at the house. He don't want to worry about having to go pay for a hotel room or staying at the Marriott. He don't want to have to do that. That's why he's out there with the water hose, common sense. The point is there are going to be many schemes and scams pertaining to these wildfires. So the people who have lost their homes need to be aware and their security. And also there are going to be many people pretending that they were in a wildfire. See, it goes both ways. There are going to be many people who will lie, such as what some scammers did here in East Tennessee several years ago. They lied and said they had homes up in the Smoky Mountains, but they did not live up there. Naturally, a few or some were arrested. Government found them out. They had lied, but there are going to be people who are going to do it. And as I said, there's nothing wrong with getting free things. If they have an event in the city, town that says, hey, free detergent, free hot dogs, you want to stop by and get your free hot dog, that's your business. But I think it's best you not go. You are not in need of anything. Your house didn't burn down. Your apartment didn't burn down. Why go over there to any of these places and get free stuff knowing you're not in need? Okay? And I'm not saying that people don't need things. But what I'm saying is let the people who have been affected get that stuff. And then the day they decide to wrap it all up, then you can say, hey, we got stuff left over free. Anybody and everybody come get it. Because we don't want to throw it in a trash can. You know, that's different. But as I said, there are going to be many people that's going to show up to these donation center churches, and they're going to say they were affected. They're going to say their apartment was burned up. They're going to say, oh, yeah, I was living with my uncle, my sister, my roommate. You don't have any way to verify that information. You'll have no way to verify any of that. I mean, you're probably going to get people that probably start walking in places, random places such as restaurants, McDonald's, fine dining. Hey, can you feed me? I'm hungry. My house caught on fire in Encino. They don't have any way to verify that you live in Encino and your house burned up. Oh, sure, we'll feed you. Here, sit down. Get your steak, get your baked potato. Just saying. Because that's what you're going to hear next. When all this dies down, when the fires have subsided, and the city starts going in, breaking ground, digging up all the debris from the houses burnt down, you're going to hear the sad stories of people who lost their houses and trusted the wrong people, told their business to the wrong person. Somebody stole their identity. Somebody stole some money from them. You're probably going to also hear cases of homicide as well, because we have learned that schemers are watching and they're trying to pay attention to anybody that's stupid enough to show their name on the news that they are without a home. That's why it's not really a good idea to have your government name on this TV screen as somebody who just was in a fire saying you lost everything. Stay woke. Now imagine that lady whose name was just up here. She's got good credit. Anybody paying attention? Anybody woke out there? She just showed her name on the news. Now the scammer is getting ready to go try to find out everything he can about her. She's already let us know what area she's in. How long do you think it's going to be for somebody gets an address on that lady? Her daughter, you just told where she went to school. You don't do that. See, the news wants a name because it helps sell the story. But the news ain't going to do shit for you when you start looking up and somebody starts telling you, oh, well, a Visa card was just opened in your name. A MasterCard was just opened in your name. Line of credit, blah, blah, blah. Amazon packages. And you're sitting here going, wait a minute, I'm homeless. We haven't been ordering anything. I haven't opened up any credit cards. Well, when your name went across that news screen, somebody's sitting at home, sitting in their car, sitting at work, on the grind, on the grift. They saw your name, ran that name. They're going to run that daughter's name. They're going to run your husband's name. The grift is real. You're going to hear the stories. Because I heard them with Katrina. I heard them with the fires here in East Tennessee, in Gatlinburg. And you're most definitely going to hear the scam schemes pertaining to these wildfires. And that's going to be the worst part besides the deaths. People getting their identity stolen who were in these fires. Somebody's going to claim to be somebody. Somebody's going to open up a line of credit cards. They're going to do whatever they can to get whatever they want, money, free, whatever. You know this. It's on its way. So that's why I said, even if you go live on Facebook, you need to be careful, especially if you got a public profile. Anybody can get a hold of that profile. Now they got your government name. You got your government name on your Facebook page, IG page. Stay woke. This is why you don't need to be using your government name on public profiles. YouTube as well. I've learned all the little tricks being up here on YouTube. All the little scams people try, even the trolls that come in the chat. Everybody's on a hustle. Everybody's on the grind trying to figure something out. You got to be aware. You got to be aware. Oh, my car blew up. My car caught on fire. I need a car. Next thing you know, somebody's writing a check for you a brand new SUV from the Nissan Mazda dealer. You all see where I'm going with this. All it takes is they get in the right periphery of somebody and start crying. Sit at Starbucks, start crying. Somebody asks, well, what's the matter? Oh, my car blew up. My car was on fire at my house. Next thing you know, somebody wealthy is listening to your story. Somebody cuts a check, take you to the car dealer, used car dealer, wherever, buy you a brand new car. You already got a car. You lied. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. You already know this is what is going to happen. It's on its way. And I don't even know what's going to happen with the insurance companies. Are they going to actually pay these people their money for their cars? We will see. We'll see the fallout. But I don't expect the best for this week in California because the meteorologists have said the wind is coming back. And it looks like it's coming back tonight, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and also Thursday for some places. And I have not heard that rain is on its way. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $McAngie, 129 Cash App. Stickers and chats are always welcome during the live stream. You are listening to live number 2. Feel free to go back and chop up the last live at your convenience. It's a 3+ hour live, bringing you back-to-back information coming out of California. Prayers for LA County and Los Angeles. Prayers for those who have perished. Prayers for those who have lost their homes, their cars, their pets. Prayers for resolution. And if indeed these people need to move out of state, they have decided they are tired of living in California, I pray that their government, local, state, will help them move if they want to. Oh, thank you, Perspective. And prayers for Perspective. He is also living in Los Angeles, and he decided to join the Queen during this live stream. Thank you so much. Prayers to you as well, sweetheart. Prayers for everybody, because you don't know the day that you will also be sitting in the same shoes as these people of LA County. It could be any of us. But so far, I'm blessed to be in a place where we don't have high flooding and wildfires, except for the Smoky Mountains. Naturally, that's the mountains anybody could, set a fire and flames, trees and things go up. As I'm saying right now, I am down in the valley. We only have a few areas in Knoxville, Tennessee that have the propensity to flood. That's near the zoo, and then area on Middlebrook Pike. They'll get light flooding, but nothing to the magnitude as you see in these other jurisdictions. Yes, God has you. Amen. God has you. Yes, when you know you're highly favored, you just don't worry. Because God got it. And as I said to people before, if you are leaning on faith, you already know God has it. He is not going to allow you to be on this earth and suffer. He's going to make sure you get away, that there's a way made. You see, it's the non-believer that's going to have the problem. But if you believe in God, you already know he's a way maker. So it don't matter what you're going through. A flood, a fire, he's got it. He's going to make a way. And I know that eventually when all this subsides, God will make a way for these people, but they're going to have to be vigilant in their decision making. And as I said, many people have moved here from California and they ain't looked back. And I'm sure many people who live right now here in Tennessee, they don't regret moving. It's a different way of life, of course. Here in Tennessee, we're not as fast, but they probably don't miss what you've witnessed the past couple of days. They don't miss that. They don't miss that at all. Okay, so there you have it. Why don't you put it in there? Since you want somebody to put it in there, Rusty. Rusty, you should be out on a date tonight instead of being in a black woman's chat, trolling. Get you some business, baby. Get you some business. They love coming over here, don't they? I must be talking about something that keep coming in here because I'm doing my damn job. I said that. It's the Queen, baby. Like, share, subscribe. Drop your comments below this video. Take the polls on my community page. Here we go. 47% of you believe 50% or more are out getting free stuff and not in need and not affected by the wildfires. But once again, report says that anybody was allowed to come get anything free. So it is what it is. But as I said, I feel like that's opening a Pandora's box. And you have to be careful what you claim on your tongue. Because we've learned free ain't really free. There's a stipulation, there's ramifications for free. And I just got a terrible feeling that what we are hearing and seeing right now play out in LA County is only the beginning of a very bad situation. So everyone needs to be aware of his or her faculties, what you post on social media, the people you get involved with, the people you're talking to on the telephone, answering texts, going on this thing here, computer. Please be careful. Be aware of your faculties and your surroundings, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. Check my community post for the movies of the week. Yes, yeah, there's going to be a lot of scams. That's obvious. There's going to be a lot of people. You'll hear the stories later. When all this dies down, you're going to hear all the people crying, all the money they lost. Somebody stole their identity. Somebody bought somebody a car. Somebody bought somebody a house. Somebody gave somebody money to put down on a condo. Then they're going to find out they already got a place to live. Oh, you're going to hear all kind of stuff. Because the first thing they're going to say is, oh, I didn't verify anything. I just saw her crying. She was sitting at the bus stop. I felt bad for her. Him, they had a little kid with them. Oh, you're going to hear all kind of stuff. You just wait and see. What's going to be the worst is if you hear somebody's been unalive from a scam. That's a whole nother subject matter. We will talk about it when it happens, because I don't want to put that into the universe, but it happens. I'm going to give you a for instance, and I'm going to check out of here. When Katrina hit many moons ago, a guy was on a public bus. I believe he was in Chattanooga, made his way up to Chattanooga. And he was on the bus telling the story of being a flood victim from New Orleans. Well, long story short, he had that card that the government had given him of the $1,000+, if you remember that. Well, he met an untimely death because he was on a public bus running his mouth about being a flood victim. Somebody followed him and unalived him. Stole the card. So this is why I say you have to be careful what you talk about. And right now, this is the perfect time for people to get GoFundMe money, handouts, whatever, because they're going to be in need. It's not to be rude, but they're going to need things. But what you're not thinking about is who is listening to your IG, Facebook post, GoFundMe. Once they have your government name, all bets are off. So you need to be careful going live and going on and on about what you're going through. Excuse me. Telling people where you're living, where you're staying. Oh, I'm over here at Mary's house and we're staying with her for 5 days. And you just got to be very careful. And I'm going to tell you, the people who you may think are your friends and your family and acquaintances, they will be the ones that's going to stick it to you because they know you are in need. And they may know of your finances and what you're worth. Pay attention now. They may know what you're worth, the value of your house. You start running that mouth about your claims. Oh, yeah, I'm getting $735,000 for the house. I don't know what I'm going to do. You better be very careful who you tell that to. Okay? Thank you, Ms. Buckley. You better be very careful who you start talking about. Because what'll be sad is we start hearing a whole bunch of stories of missing people who got checks from the insurance companies and they're missing. I'm just going to keep it real. So everybody running to the news wanting to talk, don't let them put your name up there. You tell them your name is sugar mama, make up something. We ain't got to know your damn name. You saw one girl gave an interview or whatever. She didn't show her face because there's people watching. And you got people who are greedy in your own family, in your circle, and you don't even know it. And they know that you live in a $1 million house. They know your insurance is paid up. They know you're getting ready to get that check eventually. And they're going to be right there with their hands out. And God forbid you're staying in their house, you better stay woke. Well, you're getting that money from the insurance. I need a new roof. I need a new car. I need to pay this. I'm behind on my mortgage. Blah, blah, blah. Queen, stay woke. Who better to use you than somebody that knows your personal business and knows the situation that you're in? Exactly. That's my commentary, everybody. Thank you for joining me. You've been listening to the Wild Excel. Have a wonderful weekend. Happy New Year, everybody.